gonna believe it.
What?
We got another one.
Seriously? Another podcast?
Yep. And this one looks like they think they're hot shit.
Have they all?
Pretty much.
What sets this guy apart?
Oh no. Are any of them any different these days?
Well, there's one on the listen.
Are you serious? You're gonna listen to this guy?
Why not? We listen to the others, don't we?
If so, oh well. Who's hoping it's a good one at least?
Cheer it up. Could be worse. It could be woke.
Lord help me.
Warning. You are about to start the Spirit and Flame podcast. Some of what you are about to hear may be offensive to some audiences. Entertainment is the name of the game and nothing is meant to be taken seriously. This show is meant for adults only. You've been warned. Now, without further ado, your fiery host for this show, the one and only Red.
Hello. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Spirit and Flame podcast. I believe this is episode 6. And I am your host, Red. And appreciate everybody that stops in, takes a listen. And if you can, subscribe, like. I'll try my best to improve. If you got feedback, leave it in the comment section. Try and keep it polite, or at least constructive. And I'll do my best to, take it with a grain of salt. And yeah, I guess just a brief intro of what today's episode's going to be about. Kind of continuing on this trend of Magic the Gathering unboxing videos. For those of you who maybe haven't checked out the previous videos, I will try and link them in the description here. And then you can take a look there. If not, then they'll also probably be in the playlists available. But previously we looked at the March of the Machine set booster box, and we opened up one of those, as well as the March of the Machine commander decks, and we looked at 2 out of 5. So we looked at Tinker Time and Growing Threats. And then we also did sort of a smaller unboxing of some of the loose packs from some of the other sets that I don't have booster boxes for. And one of them was really nice. We got a couple of mythics in it, and it was just all around a good pack. There weren't any problems with it. It was great. It was a great experience. Then there were the other packs, and they varied from good to great, or not even great. Let's put it this way: good to terrible. At the bottom of the list were the March of the Machine sample collector booster packs. So they're samples of the collector booster packs. They were included with the commander deck. So, these are technically included. But unlike, say, a bundle, which includes a bunch of actual packs, this is just some sort of sample pack. And frankly, it was so bad, I don't even want to think about it. If you want to see my exact thoughts on that and how bad it was, as long as you don't mind some strong language, you should check my unboxing of those, because most of it was turned into more of a tirade on just corporate crap that we have to put up with as consumers. And especially as a new fan of this series, those are my first impressions, and they were not good. Let's put it that way. I have no interest in picking up a collector box of March of the Machine because of that experience. It was so bad. So just keep in mind that just because somebody is in an executive suite position, just because they're making decisions for a company as well recognized as Magic, does not necessarily mean that they know what they're doing or that they're good at their job. Sometimes they're just put in positions, almost like welfare, for corporate elites to kind of feel special. But really, they just end up ruining a lot of stuff. So, just give me 1 second, and I'll be right back. Wouldn't you know it? I feel like I'm getting some sort of cold coming on. I don't know. It's odd, but my nose doesn't normally just start running, but here we are. And I am feeling a little bit oddly stuffed up. Anyways, back to what we were talking about. So, had some good experiences and some bad experiences with unboxing the loose boosters, and pretty much everywhere in between, to be honest. It was a full spectrum experience. We had the bottom of the pack with those samples, which make me just completely want to stay away from the product they were sampling of. And then in addition to that, we had some good packs in the middle that kind of varied. One was okay, but it was also a draft pack, so we weren't expecting to get any kind of mythics or really anything in there, and we didn't, unfortunately, get any mythics. And then we got the in the other set booster, it was an okay. We got a mythic, which was quite unexpected, actually, to get, especially after hitting 2 mythics in the first pack. But in total, we got 3 mythics from 3 packs, so that was actually a pretty nice average, but just distributed in a kind of a wonky way. And we're just going to completely ignore the 2 sample packs because those don't really count. They aren't real packs, and they were just dreadful. Everything about them was dreadful, including the cards inside. And they were kind of warped, and the whole experience was bad. So the sample packs are just terrible. And if you're wondering, like, oh, well, there's this sample pack, like, just don't pick it up. Don't think, oh, how many cards are in here? There's 3 cards, but really it's 2 cards because one of them is a fucking ad. And it seems like you get a guaranteed ad on both sides. So just fucking move on. Don't even consider those cards. So you get 2 cards in the sample pack, and they're going to be kind of bent and warped. So just fucking terrible. So that was from the Commander decks. So again, the Commander decks itself weren't bad. I actually quite liked them. But knowing that part of the price is in, like, it's kind of weird, to be honest, when I think about it. Like, it's really weird. When you read the box on the Commander deck, I don't have it here, unfortunately, but it was shown in the previous videos. But if you look at the box, it was describing the contents, and the first thing it said before all other items listed on that box was the Commander Collector Booster Sample Pack. So it led in with that. It said, hey, look, you get one of these sample packs of the Commander Collectors or whatever it is. And I realized something, and I couldn't figure out what it was. I was like, that's weird. So why are they... Because when I was at the store, there's Commander Masters Commander decks. Then there was the March of the Machine Commander decks. And I picked up the March of the Machine because they went well with the sets that I was trying to build, like the decks that I wanted to build for my Commander deck. But also... it went well with the set booster box that I had opened, so I figured that it would have some nice synergy. But But when I was looking at the Master Commanders series, or Commander Master, sorry, Commander deck, it was about twice the price of the other Commander decks. It was, for what I got 2 Commander decks for, so in total 200 cards, and 2 deck boxes, and et cetera, et cetera. For that, I would have got only 1 Commander deck, and it would have been the Master series. So I'm sure the cards would have been a little bit nicer across the board, maybe in the deck. So that would have accounted for some of the price, but I just can't see the cards being twice the price across the board on average. Every card, especially in a fixed set like that. So then the variation on the price partially has to come from the sample booster. And if they're anything to go by from the sample boosters that you get in the other Commander deck, then it's not worth that price. Throw that money, unless you want the Commander deck itself, like you really, really want that Commander deck, don't pay that premium thinking it's going to pay out for itself in those sample packs. The sample pack is terrible. It's just dreadful. It's almost like a slap in the face, to be honest. So I can't imagine that they fixed it that much for the Commander Masters. Something tells me that they just slap you in the face again with both, because they really just want you to spend all that money on other products the whole time. And you kind of get this sense that with these ads especially, that it's kind of like it's insulting is what it is. And I'm not going to go into it on this video. I already ranted and raved on my last one. But just to summarize, it's just insulting because you spent this money, regardless of whether you're a kid who's getting into Magic for the first time, or you're someone like me who's kind of getting into Magic for, say, the 3rd time in their life, but never really got into it too much in the previous times of my life, but had some friends that did, and so I was always kind of like this kind of spectator off to the side. You don't want the first experience to be, and especially when they're kids, like for me as an adult, and if the target audience is mostly adults, then it makes sense. But even with me, this effect is kind of felt. It's not really a good experience to go in and pick up a pack of something, spend your hard-earned money, regardless of how much it is. It doesn't really matter the price. It's the fact that it's your money. You worked for it. You put some effort into it. And you really just don't want to open up the pack and I understand there's advertising materials to expand. Like, so if they're advertising other things, I totally get it. I do understand that you do want to advertise some of these services. But what I don't want is to be hit with these ads like it's some sort of commercial break on a cable channel. It's weird. I don't want to be opening up packs and every pack have an ad in it. Like, why don't you just put the ad on the box? Keep it simple. Everyone will see it when they pick up the packs. And, if people aren't interested in your product, then, shoving the fucking ad in their face isn't going to make them any more interested. It's just not. It's just going to kind of annoy people that are otherwise happy fans and that are interested in the product. And so I don't see it as a good marketing strategy. I see it as an extremely aggressive one that is targeting the wrong kind of fan base, to be honest. I get aggressive marketing does work in times, but you know where it works? In like a mall. In a mall setting, in retail settings, in foot traffic, in spaces where you're trying to get a lot of eyeballs. You're really trying to get attention over other people, and you got to get it in that kind of temporal moment. It's very time sensitive. You know what isn't super time sensitive, and when it's not really a good time maybe to advertise a website? When you're opening a bunch of boosters with your buddies. It just kind of is it's so bad. It's moronic marketing. Fucking put a TM on that shit for me. I'm gonna have my moronic marketing segments. Although sure, somebody has the trademark on that shit. If they don't, they earned it through experience, and then you can give it to these guys who put the fucking ads in it. They can get that fucking trademark because they earned it. Anyways, that's all I'm gonna say on the ad front. You can hear, I really don't like this kind of shady bullshit. Like, honestly, I do believe in the old adage, a good product sells itself. And I've always stood by that because I don't buy into the marketing hype. It doesn't normally do much for me. In fact, I tend to be one of those anti-marketer people. So when I see marketing, I assume that they're lying to me. Yeah. So whatever they're promising, I assume isn't quite the truth, and that they're spinning it in a way that, while it may be technically true on paper, isn't really what they're intending to. What they mean is not what I'm intended to perceive. And while they can get away with it, maybe in a courtroom, everyone knows that it was a little bit of a slimy tactic. And you see this a lot. Like, Amazon is the king of this. Everything Amazon does, Jeff Bezos must look like a fucking... Like, the dude must have a layer an inch thick of petroleum jelly on him at all times. The dude has some of the slimiest business practices I've ever seen. He employs some of the scummiest people to just go, and they do it with absolutely no respect, and with full impunity. It's completely bizarre to me. But I guess again, that's sociopathic leadership, and that's what I see there. And you see it in Musk too, but he's not like Bezos. Bezos is a sociopath, straight up. Like, he's pretty weird, but he's one of those billionaires that he doesn't really like the spotlight, right? Call him whatever you want, but I would say that he's not really like Steve Jobs. He's not really like Bill Gates. He's his own thing. So you'd make like a triangle between those. But where I would put, say, Elon Musk is in the center of that. He'd be the center of that weird triangle of say, well-known billionaires that are kind of in the same industry, tech, but they're also kind of they're movers in that sense. And I feel that with specifically Bezos, he's got a different personality than they all have different personalities. What we need is another Steve Jobs. Unfortunately, we don't have that. Instead, we have an Elon Musk, which I think was more in the middle. Elon Musk is a man who markets himself mostly. He's like kind of like a Madoff type, but more technically savvy. He makes real products. That's the thing. He's not like a Bernie Madoff where you have a straight, a straight scheme. It's more like he's just always moving the cart down the road, selling you, something else than what you thought, and always promising you, like, it was just misunderstanding. You didn't really fully understand. On the next iteration, it's gonna be better, etc., etc. Etc. That's kind of his style. He's kind of a snake oil salesman that does sell you a product. It's just not necessarily a high quality product or the quality product that you thought you were getting. He's like the used car salesman type of which is fitting because he does sell cars. But that's kind of like his type of attitude. He's pretty charming most of the time when you're around him because he's trying to get something, he's trying to close a deal. So he's not gonna come across as super cutthroat like a Bezos would, but behind the scenes he's gonna be pretty vicious. He's just not gonna do it to your face. He's gonna always have a sly way of getting out of things. Whereas with Bezos, he might just straight up stare you down, say, "So fucking what? What are you gonna do about it?" Or he might just ignore you. That's the Bezos kind of mentality, from what I can tell. And then you've got like a Bill Gates, who loves the limelight, loves being there. He's very much like an Elon Musk, but he's not really selling you the idea. Elon Musk is always selling you the idea. He wants you, the consumer. He channels Jobs in that sense. But with Elon Musk, it's always about the individuals watching him, the audience. He plays the audience. But with Bill Gates, he's a presenter. He's got a well thought out plan, and he wants to execute on his plan. And so he's going to tell you why you should do what he thinks. And you should continue to do what he thinks. And if you don't, he's going to tell you why what you're doing is wrong. And then he's going to tell you, here you go, here's how to solve it. But he's always presenting his information. He's a big presenter. He's a big top-down kind of guy. He's very much more of an organizational guy. He doesn't play off of emotions too much. He plays off of fears over the long term, and specifically the fear of missing out. Now, Elon Musk also does that, but he does it more in like an actual, like, viral kind of investment fiscal way. With Bill Gates, he kind of talks to you about these larger problems that seem so large that who could possibly have a solution? And then, lo and behold, he'll come in with his suggestion, but because he likes to frame things as problems so that other people say, well, what can we do about this? And he says, oh, well, the answer is very simple, really. What we need to do is we just need to do this and this. And if people just looked at it, they would realize that there's all this stuff. I'm Bill Gates and I've got a plan for everything. And so all we got to do is just do it's really simple, really. That's kind of his tactic. Whereas Elon Musk he takes a different approach. He goes, well, you see, it's, If you just crunch the numbers, you'll realize that when we did the math, a lot of this is always going back to the math. You do the numbers, you look at it, it's just a simple equation. You take certain variables, and then you got the one variable x, you got one variable y, and it's just a formulaic equation. So you just put in the numbers, and you run the simulation, and you figure out what it's going to be. His whole thing is diversion. He tends to talk with authority. He tends to stand there and deliver statements with a lot of conviction. And he tends to say things in generalities that in theory are pretty vague, so they could be seen as analogies, but at the same time could technically be correct, and he could just be generalizing. And then when called on it, he can always say, well, the actual math is very dense, and I would need to have many pages, and a lot. It would be very boring, and it would go over most people's heads. And frankly, we use a lot of software these days to do a lot of these calculations, and so we'd have to kind of run that. It's just not very practical, And you always bring it back to the practical nature of things, and I find that kind of interesting. He's really good at diverting, but as a car salesman, though, diverting away from the problems and really hyping up the soon-to-be, the could-be, the what maybes, and selling the dream. not necessarily the steps to get that dream. Whereas Bill Gates has got a plan, and it might not necessarily lead where he's telling you it's going to lead, but he's going to try and follow the plans. He wants the plan. And so his focus is a lot different. He doesn't try to divert, per se. I mean, occasionally there are problems, and you'll see him do diversionary tactics, just like Elon Musk, in the same methods. But he doesn't do it with the same charisma. Instead, he reframes things a lot. Bill Gates is like a master reframer, so he just reframes the problem in a way that sounds different, and allows him to kind of reposition his plan. So he just continues the same thing, but he reframes it whenever he needs to. So I'd say out of all of them, Bill Gates is probably, well, it depends. In a battle of pure might, I feel like Bezos would win if he could. He would just overpower everybody, starve them out through attrition, do whatever he needed to survive, and he would like sacrifice anything necessary to do it. Pure power play. And in an environment that gave him the opportunity to do a pure power play, I think he would probably take it, and he would probably succeed out of those three. There's no vision left. That's what I'm saying. We needed Jobs. Jobs was a little bit more about, he was very charismatic, but it was always about the idea. He was a little bit like Bill Gates in that sense, that he had this idea, but he was more of a charismatic speaker and would focus around the you again, not so much the structures like Bill Gates does. Bill Gates focuses on the higher level socioeconomic infrastructure, but not the individual consumer. Whereas with Steve Jobs, he was always he was very good at bringing it back down to the consumer level, like Elon Musk is. Bezos, again, not good at that. He's not even in the ballpark. He's just a sociopathic power player, might rules kind of thing. Might is right systems, and we can kind of see that. Elon Musk, though, is a little bit more of he's a populist kind of guy. He plays the emotions of the people. He uses the fads, the trends to give him power. He's kind of like a Pied Piper, if you will. And you got to be careful with those people because, Jonestown and stuff, they can fuck over a lot of their own fans. It's usually not their enemies that they fuck over. It's usually their fans. And what they'll do to fuck over their enemies, if that's their intent, is to utilize their fans to do it. A lot of indirect stuff, just like his misdirection in discussion, because that's how you get your fans. You talk a lot, you promise a lot, you misdirect, and you indirectly can start conflicts. And he's really good at that. And he's really good at using other people's conflicts for his own gain as well, hopping on to things. And we don't see that with Bezos. Bezos is like silent. He avoids that kind of commentary because, again, he's a power player. He just makes his moves, and he's going to make the decisions behind the scene. He doesn't care what other people think. Bill Gates, he does care, but again, he cares what a certain type of people think, decision makers. He's going up for that socioeconomic hierarchy, and we are just in his way. So it's a different kind of game. So I don't know. I feel that when you look at that, and of course there's tons of billionaires in the world that do all sorts of horrible things and manipulate markets and have huge impacts outsized of their mental capacities, but we unfortunately have these main ones right now that are kind of in the tech space, and they control a lot of things. One, their companies have acquired a lot of other companies. They're kind of they're at the infrastructure layer of a lot of things. Not so much Musk. He's more of he's just a viral guy. But that's why we're talking about him, because he is so viral right now that it's interesting. Because he's in the car business, but that's about it. I mean, his other stuff is actually not very innovative. It's just more like value add. And even if you listen to what he describes it as, he describes a lot of it as value add. not exactly innovative. And I would agree, because I don't think his stuff is very innovative. It's just value add. He's in the value add economy, but it's interesting because he's got so much speculation behind him that's almost his brand. He's almost like a Donald Trump in that sense. And we won't go down that route. But let's get back to what this video is about. Magic. The Brothers War set booster box. And I know that this is going to be a 2-part video, so we're just going to do half the box. So we're going to try and do 15 packs here, and we'll save the other 15 packs for some other time. And let's take a look at this box. Now, what's interesting about this box is the reason that it drew me is because specifically with this one, much like March of the Machine, there's some reprints done, and in this case they're done in the retro frame, which I really like the retro frame. It's a style I like a lot, and a lot of them these are all old artifacts that are being reprinted. So we're getting an old artifact, which is kind of nice, because again, I'm new to the series. I want to get some of the older cards and then see if I recognize any of them from when I used to play a long time ago, of which unfortunately I don't have any of those cards anymore. So I don't really have any in my old collection, hence getting in new. So let's see what this box tells us before we cut into it. Guts, glory, and giant robots. Travel back in time and witness history in the making. The Brothers' War is a new look at one of Magic's classic tales, a battle between two brothers that shaped the future of the entire multiverse. Wield powerful artifacts like colossal war machines and intricate schematic cards. That sounds cool. Are the lessons of the past enough to save the future? Well, I don't know. I'm just going to say no. My personal experience, no. They're never enough. You always need new lessons, sadly. And I don't mean that in like some sort of nihilistic way. I just mean that out of what I've observed is I really wish it wasn't that way. I wish we could learn from the lessons of the past, but I'm beginning to see that from my perspective, the world is cyclical. Nature is cyclical, including human nature. And a lot of the time, what we don't realize is that the symptoms for our past transgressions came from our past successes. Our failures are not independent of our successes, and neither are our successes independent of our failures. Everything kind of is linked up. And I mean, anyone knows this if they really think about it, but no one wants to extrapolate it because obviously then you're just generalizing. That's what everyone says. But I think you can extrapolate to a certain degree. Like when you think about it, as you have gone through your life, you've had a lot of failures, a lot of successes, and each one is something that you've gone back to and you've thought about, and it has helped you make a decision. Usually the successes lead you to do something again and again because you've enjoyed it, you've made some sort of benefit. The failures usually slow you down and they stop you, and that's a benefit to them because they can also prevent you from having serious consequences and stop you from having problems. Or they can teach you valuable skills that can improve your abilities and allow you to kind of push beyond that challenge and turn a failure into a newfound success. And so I find that in those regards, you do grow, you do use the past to gain just as much as your successes are, but I feel that they're not unavoidable. And so I feel that generations themselves of people go through cycles. They themselves have to learn their own identities about their generation, how they fit in, what they're going to do, etc., etc. And in addition to that, the environment they find themselves in is always slightly different because it's been shaped by the past generations that have come before them and all the sub-generations in between and every moment, etc., that's kind of come before. And so they're always getting shaped in a new stew, but the same pot, if you will. The soup is always a little different. The broth's always changing. New vegetables and whatnot are being added into the stew, but it's It's the same pot. We're all in it. We're all in the pot together. But it's always changing. And the thing is, when those new vegetables come into the pot, they still got to soften up. They're hard when they come in, and they need time to soften up. Some veggies soften quick. Some veggies soften slow. Some hold together. Some break apart. And that's one of those things that you kind of realize is that as you keep adding things to the stew, and you got to keep adding things to the stew, that's just life, that there's these cycles. The new bits still have to go through it. Even though the stew is really old at that point and completely different than what it is, and you've changed the vegetable structure so much, the new bits you throw in still need time to cook and to cure, and for their flavors to dissipate through the rest and to have an impact. At the same time, they're constantly being impacted themselves by whatever's come before them, whatever's currently in the stew. The seasonal flavors, if you will certainly permeate them, and that will have a different flavor. For example, that parsnip might have tasted different had it come into the stew at a different time of life. And so I do feel a lot of the time that's kind of what we see. And so I don't think in general that the lessons of the past can prevent the future failures. Like I think within certain zones, yes, but overall, I think no. I think we're going to have these cycles time and again, and we're going to keep having these kind of cycles essentially for forever, because that's just the nature of life. That's what happens with life. And you just got to hope that you're not making the same mistakes, Hopefully it is a little bit different for you as you go through. But be on the lookout for Universes Beyond Transformers cards. Reconfigure your collection with the power of the Allspark. Autobots, roll out. Alright, so we got some Transformers in this kit. I forgot about that too. So yeah, that was the other thing. So, and we can actually see right here, we've got the logo there. So that's kind of cool. We're going to get, it says 1 in 10 boosters includes a Transformers card. So we should get 3 Transformers cards on average in this box. Now, of course, it's on average. So we could get more and we could get less. So we'll find out what we get in here. And yeah, and hell, we could get them all at the very beginning. We might get none in this video because we're doing a 2-part. So it could be on the bottom half of the set. Who knows? Now, I find that with these kind of openings, this plastic is kind of tough to get through. So I tend to use a knife. I gotta admit, these Leatherman multi-tools are pretty sick. Like, not only can you just like one hand the knife out and put it away all with essentially one hand really easily. They come very sharp when you get them out of the package. It feels nice. It's got good construction. Everything's just clean. This one particularly is the Leatherman Wave Plus. And I mean, the only thing I think I could ask for that could be improved is I'm not a big fan of this sheath. And I know this isn't Magic related, but I wish this was adjustable in some way. If this was just slightly better. I like that it's small. Don't get me wrong. I like that this isn't very big. But I just feel that it could be improved. But the actual layout of this, the comfort of holding it is very nice. And I just like the fact that you can one hand open the saw and the knife really easily. And so you don't have to like go fumbling around. Now, same can't be said for the rest of this, obviously, but you do want a bit of thickness and especially stiffness when working with, say, the wires. You don't want those flipping in and out. That's just annoying. So, yeah, no, I've been impressed with this. So we're going to use this guy to cut into our plastic here because, again, it's just, I don't know, I find it very tough plastic, which is, I mean, good. You kind of want that when you get sealed product. You kind of want the plastic to protect it, to hold it together. It's just like it just doesn't tear nicely though either. So once it has a cut in it, it's not gonna to tear very easily, which doesn't really, to be honest, doesn't really offer much for protection, because you could just have a well-positioned slice, and because it is so tough and it doesn't rip off, it actually gives somebody in the opportunity to surreptitiously potentially gain access more easily without removing the film and accessing it all through just a slice. So something to consider. That sometimes the easy tear film, now you don't want it to tear easily until that initial intended rip, so maybe that's the problem. But at least once it is torn, there's no going back. That stuff is, there's no faking the seal again. Alright, so let's open this up. Again, I find that these top cards, for whatever reason, are a little bit tricky to get. Alright, so we got ourselves a box top art piece again. And it looks like it's not the one from the cover, which I kind of prefer, to be honest. I like having, I guess, a unique piece of art. Oh, so meet Mishra and meet Urza. So they're telling you the background story. I don't know if that was on the other one. I don't think so. I think specifically that's probably because, yeah, no, the other one didn't have that. I think it's probably because this one's story based. Like, it's kind of, the campaign is very, it's very specific. You know, with the March of the Machine, it's more of like just a crossover campaign, which is, again, good and bad. But as far as it goes, the crossover campaign, the downside to that is that no particular character, I would say, is important in the story. And we kind of even see that in Infinity Wars and stuff, like with Marvel, is that no one's really important. So while it's really good for getting, if you're a fan, just get a little bit more fan service in of particular characters that, say, maybe don't normally get a lot of screen time, it's not good for having a very strong cohesive story, because inevitably a strong cohesive story requires that you have some identified protagonist. And that means that you can't give everybody equal screen time. You have to have some central characters. And it just doesn't work if you're having a multiverse split. So I can imagine why they would put the story on the back of the art there. Alright, so these packs are actually pretty nice to look at, I'm not going to lie. They have a nice feel to them. The color is actually really good. Like, I think the packs themselves almost do a better job of this particular design and this color scheme than I think the boxes do, because it softens up the sky a little bit. And you know, if anything, actually, I feel like the green up here in the clouds is the most detracting part. If this was just a little different, that would probably be great. But the bottom looks nice. I like the green here. It's really sharp, because at the bottom here, it needs another bar at the bottom for contrast. Don't get me wrong, you can obviously read it, but with this, you get that extra little bit of contrast, and I think it looks nice. So, nice looking packs. And they feel good. Like, I don't know, the set booster just feels nice. I like the feel of the set booster packs. I like them better than, I think, the draft pack. Of course, if you're doing draft, it would make sense why you'd get the draft. But, see, each one of these is just, the order of each pack is so different. I never know what to expect, to be honest, because it seems like every time I've opened one, it's different. So this time the art series is on the top but backwards. And it's kind of a nice art series, actually. So I think how we're going to do this is I'll sleeve just the hollows, the foils, and the mythics, and the art cards for now, as we go through this, and then the others I'll go through it at my own time. So put the art card. Let's just move this pack back a bit. Put the art card over here with the other card, and at the very top, a nice start. We get a foil land swamp, a very nice land actually. I love the retro framing on this, at least, or whatever framing this is. It's not really retro, I guess, but it's just standard framing, I guess. But I just like it. Basic framing. It reminds me of the old Magic. I mean, the new cards look really nice too. Don't get me wrong. I think they all have their place, to be honest. It's just that I don't want these ones to go away. I really like this. It just feels good. And yeah, I'm happy we got a hollow land to start. That's a good first pack. And now, again, I don't know the order of this, so we'll find out. We get commons, it looks like, to start. And already I'm loving the art. Conscripted infantry. Supply drop, that is a nice looking piece of art. Nice artifact there. I'm going to put, so I've got a different system this time. I'm going to keep the commons, uncommons, rares. Because I think it's just an easier system. So again, we got we got a colorless, which is nice. Just again, common though. And then, we've hit the uncommons already. So I forget, with the set boosters, I guess you get a few commons, then you get some uncommons, and then, because you get the mythics and the rare opportunities. So that is nice. That is nice. Lay down arms. So we got our uncommons. And none of these are double backed, and I like that, to be honest. I don't mind the double backs now that I've kind of seen a bit more. And this is, I think, one of our first retro, so we're going to sleeve these as well. Anytime we get a retro artifact, we're going to sleeve that, because I love that this is the retro border, the real retro border. Look at that. It's just, I love those old looking cards. That is just a beautiful card. Scrap Trawler, artifact creature. The only thing that sets it apart, I guess, is the year down here, and then I'm assuming the stamp. But other than that, I kind of wish they didn't put the year. But I guess they have to. But yeah, that's nice. So we'll keep those off to the side as well. But that is a nice first retro. I think we get one in every pack, so I'm excited. I'm hoping we don't get any duplicates, but, I'll accept it if we have to. Oh, man, this is a great first pack. So we get a mythic in our first pack, followed by a hollow common foil, followed by another mythic. Look at that. 2 mythics, common foil, another mythic, a foil land, and a dude, what an excellent. We're gonna run out of sleeves just before we even get through like a few of these packs. I gotta go and get more sleeves, because I'm gonna have to start like triaging them already. But look at that, that's a nice mythic. Awaken the Woods. I love forest cards. I love forest mythics. That is nice. And the art on that is beautiful. Just gorgeous. So, mythics are going to go over here. And then hollow foil common. That is a nice piece of art too. Like, very nice, detailed piece of art. The foiling's a bit dark, but the art itself is really, really something. And just give me 1 second here, guys, while I fix there we go, the sleeve. But this is another nice, even though it's only a common, I like these foil cards. They're nice. So yeah, we'll get a token foil in each one as well. So look forward to those. So I'll put those off to the side as well. And I guess we'll have our 4 main kind of piles here. 5 if you include the art. And this is another mythic, and I like this. This looks like a throwback mythic by the looks of it. Because I'm seeing we have some sort of AFR. I don't know what that means, but it says 2021 on it. So I think this is an older card from another set that they've included. And I'm wondering if... Oh, God, no. Please don't have any of these stupid ads. But if this is what we get instead of ads, please, Lord, this is beautiful. Keep this up. This is what you should get in a pack. This is a good feeling. It makes me want to buy more. You know, like, this is the kind of stuff that you want to see. You don't want to see a fucking ad. You want to see a mythic, a rare, even a common. I don't care. You don't want to see an ad. So Old Gnawbone here is a nice pull on our first pack. This is a great start. I'm loving this. We got 2 mythics in the first pack. And they're both forested mythics. And that is like, that's my jam, guys. I love forest cards. Something about nature is always just kind of called to me, and those cards are just, I don't know, they're like an old friend when I look at them. There's something about the art style of forested stuff that's just really nice. So I can see that we're kind of getting off to these starts here with the tokens, and I'm worried that it does have an ad. So we're into the token cards again. I feel like these deserve their own pile, but not out of respect, more out of like loathing. So they're gonna just kind of go off to the side here. You don't need to worry about those cards because they're just disappointing. So yeah, that looks like why we got that mythic. You get a mythic and then you get disappointed. You get a mythic, then you get disappointed. Well, at least you got the mythic at once, you know. It's not all disappointment in the deck. Again, they're putting these backwards, though. So we've got our art card. Not a bad-looking card. Ooh, another foil land. Okay, so I'm really interested in how the ratios go for these print runs and like booster pack runs. Because I don't think we're supposed to get a foil land in every pack. I think we're supposed to get a land in every pack for sure, but we're not supposed to get a foil land in every pack. So I think that the foil land is a lucky hit. Unless you don't like foil lands, then I guess it wouldn't be lucky, but I like them. So far that's looking great. Now we're on to our commons, which I kind of like because I don't have to sleeve them, to be honest. And these are great looking. I mean, they're all robots, but again, it's got that kind of fantasy, well detailed art. I don't know, high fantasy art. I don't really know the style that you would call this. I just call it high fantasy myself. But it's nice. It's nice because it works well together. Like every piece kind of is cohesive, and it's easy on the eyes. Like literally, it's easy to look at. It's nice. So our uncommons, Mishra, that's kind of nice. And a couple of artifact creatures, so we'll put those there. And then we get our next retro frame. And it looks like we have a couple retro frames, which is cool. So it looks like 3 in this pack, which is quite something. So even though we got an ad, it looks like they gave us some retro frames to make up for that, and I'm happy with that because let's be honest, everyone likes, although there does seem to be a print line right there, so that's kind of annoying, but at the same time it's cool to have another retro artifact. Journeyer's Kite, so put that off to the side. In total there's 63, and as somebody who's just probably going to pick up one of these boxes, I might pick up, again, sealed product and hold it for a while, but not necessarily open it. Just to open it maybe some other day in the future. But I like that because it means that I'm not going to get too many duplicates of any of these things likely in one set, in one box. So I'm happy about that, and it means a lot of variety, which is something that I enjoy. So we have another retro artifact here, and this is liquid metal coating. So it's kind of nice that we got 2 in one pack. I don't think that's going to happen very often, but it's nice to see. And then we've got our rare for the first time, our first rare, Stone Brain, which is funny enough. That's the kind of people that marketed the ads. Now, to be fair, I have to give them credit. If they never if that extra mythic cards was the only way to get those extra mythic cards, for example, old Gnawbone here, was to incorporate a stupid ad card. Fine. I'll take it. I think it is an extra card, technically. I don't think they include it on the count, but can we just not, like, I guess if it's necessary, it's necessary, but dear God, it shouldn't be necessary. That should not be the answer. Let's be honest, guys. That should just not be the answer. Now, to finish this up, though, I'm going to say this is a very nice card that I just finished this pack with. We have ourselves a foil retro artifact, and it's got this really nice star on the bottom that's like done in foil. That is nice, and it's got like this kind of weird texture. I don't know if you can really see it, but that is a beautiful card. So we're going to slide that right into the sleeve, right off the bat here. And we're just going to put that off to the side. But that is nice. Bone saw. Really nice looking art too. Just beautiful. And that retro frame, the foiling, it really works with those retro frames. And that's a great pack. You know, the only thing that was a downside was this token here, and at least it was a token. It wasn't a double-sided ad, which apparently they decided to include. And again, I haven't seen this particular version of the ad, so I'm willing to give that a pass, especially considering the other cards we got in that. That is a nice pack. So far we're off to a good start. I'm liking this. Again, this is a lot of fun, guys. For people that are on the fence about opening this, I mean, there's some people on YouTube that really open these packs quickly, and in some ways I feel they almost detract from the experience by doing so. Like, they make it look almost cheap, and to be honest, I mean, those guys have a lot of money. They're usually selling product as well, so I mean, most of their money comes not from comes from selling products. So they want to get things done over and quick. It's business to them. I get it. This is not business for me. My business is in programming, so I do that. Now, I'm happy to say, though, it looks like we might have avoided an ad on this. Looks like there might be a card there. This might be a great box, guys, or it could just be the first 3 packs. Who knows? But so far, I'm excited. We got some art, and the art is not bad. Quite, definitely got like that desert feel. Like, you feel you're in the desert, that's for sure. So I'll sleeve that, and I'll sleeve them all at the end here in one go. The ones that we're going to sleeve. So we got the lands. That's nice. Then we've got our commons. And I like that these commons here are not, I mean, if they're all forest, I'd be happy. But I like that because they're not forest, that they're not all of one particular color. I'm getting a nice little variation. And in general, I find that these packs are pretty well mixed from what I've experienced so far across the different sets, except for those samples, which just, God help me, pissed me off. Another common. It's pretty sweet looking. Trench Stalker. And Now we're on to the uncommons. So we get some artifact creatures, and these are nice looking cards. And they're all neutral, which I kind of like, because you get these artifacts. So we'll put those here. And this looks to be our first Transformers card. So they're mythics, or at least this one's a mythic. And very nice, actually. It's got a slightly different stamp. I don't know. Yeah, no, it's just these particular ones by the looks of things. And you can see a nice little orange stamp there. This is nice. Okay, so we got another mythic. So these packs are pulling really nice. For a collection, at least, like if you're trying to build a set, this is great. You're getting some nice cards. Another bone saw. So now we have a bone saw in hollow foil, and now we have another bone saw in regular, which I kind of like. That I've got too. Mishra's Command. So this is a rare, quite a nice looking card. Not a big fire guy, but. Then we've got our uncommon hollow, and they teased us with the final card. So not quite as good as I thought we were going to get at the end there. I was really hoping for maybe another retro or something to tease us, but no, it's just one of those weird double cards, which, to be fair, I think they actually have their place. I haven't figured out yet, but I'm keeping them because they're actually somewhat useful, even if I just turn them into some weird art piece in the future and I can't figure out what to use them for. But this is a great looking mythic, though. I'm really glad we got one of these Transformers, and yeah. So I'm gonna put that with the. I guess, to be honest, I'll put that up here separated, the Transformers one specifically, because I think they are, in their own way, a little bit different. Then we've got an uncommon token foil, if you will. And quite nice, Pyrrhic Blast. Although I don't think you want to have a Pyrrhic Victory unless you're really spiteful, you know? That's not really the thing you want. But that is a nice experience. And that's a nice card. Let's see if I can get the lighting right. There we go. So we'll put that with the hollows. Yeah. I don't know whether I'm calling them foils or hollows. I know most people call them foils. To me, I don't know. I'm just going to keep calling them both. Just jump between them as I see fit. And I know some of these probably don't need to be sleeved like the lands there, but I tend, like you're probably thinking, why aren't you sleeving the rares? You're sleeving lands, man. There's some basic lands. I don't know. I've always had a thing for lands. I like the land cards. I also like the rares because I find, I don't know what it is, but a lot of the rare cards are just really cool to look at. Let's just be honest. Just cool to look at, and you can't say the same about all cards. Well, actually, most of the cards, honestly, are cool to look at, regardless of whether they're rares or they're uncommon or common. The art direction is usually really, really strong from what I've seen so far. So it looks like this is our first Transformers token, which is interesting. Let's hope it doesn't have an ad on the back. Of course it has an ad on the back. What the fuck's wrong with these people? Like, honestly. Seriously, what the fuck is wrong with these people? Are you like, I'm just gonna keep moving. Just don't think about it. It's so bad. It's just, it drives me insane. Oh, okay. This is nice. We got some signed art. So far, these sets, minus the stupid ads, are proving to be quite nice. Like, nice signature there. That's a really cool looking piece of art too. So we'll put you in and put you over there. I do like the signed art. I like the art in general, but I mean, I kind of wish they were all signed and not not normal. Like I wish there was no weird rarity in the art cards. It was just kind of like what it is. But I get that, some people like having those extra variations of rarity. So yeah, I accept it. But I prefer the signed version over the non-signed. And that being said, I only like it because it's stamped. So if they were to just put signatures on it, I wouldn't really care. If it wasn't stamped with foil. So let's just put it that way. Another foil land, which I like. I like getting the foil lands. I like getting lands in general, but since you get one in each pack, I do like getting the foil ones, obviously. And then we'll go through these a little bit faster as we go. So these commons. I find it funny that you get like 3 commons but 4 uncommons. But it's like, I guess the idea is that the commons are probably just duplicated and maybe there's a lesser variation on them. In that sense that with the uncommons, even though you get more in a pack, more variations of them, I just haven't figured that part out yet. But the uncommons are pretty cool looking, especially that Fall of Krug. Let me see. I keep pulling it out in the wrong area. But you got some nice cards here. Another nice uncommon. Trample's always I have to learn the rules a bit more, but I always remember trample being a good skill to have. Some good trample cards. And then it looks like another uncommon. So instead of a rare, it looks like we got an uncommon. And let's see. So there's a token artifact. See, I'm getting super confused by these. I don't know. It's the token cards are throwing me off because the ads, they feel like punishment. They don't feel like something you get. They feel like a punishment. I think the first time I opened it, I thought it was interesting. And then that was the end of it. I was like, oh, okay, that was it. I'm really not interested anymore. But this is cool. Foundry Inspector, another one of those retro artifacts. So we'll put that over there with the rest. And then, we got a nice rare land. Nice rare dual land. So sleeve you. Put you over the lands. That's a nice looking land. And then we've got the Battlefield Butcher hollow token foil. And we've got it in uncommon. And I actually quite like the look of that. When it comes to the black swamp cards, I'm a fan of the ones that look kind of actually like this, like swampy for the most part. Not so much the death and zombies, which I know some people really like, but I'm a big fan of the of more of the just old ruins kind of swamp style. But I gotta admit, so far I'm pretty happy. If it wasn't for those token cards, I'd be exceedingly happy. Like, they're just keeping me slightly miserable, and I feel like this is done intentionally. I'm sure there's some sort of weird psychology where they find that people that are just slightly unhappy each time are more likely to be addicted, and I'm sure it's a dark pattern. Something tells me it is. Like, it's like, when you've had something salty, you want to drink something sweet suddenly. Even though they're not really related, your body wants to balance it. So we got another art card here. Kind of a interesting. This is kind of a freaky looking art card, to be honest. They're like reanimating a goat. Yeah, that's pretty freaky, to be honest. I think there's some mental issues there at play with the artist. I mean, they could have been reanimating anything, but that person wanted to put a weird goat head on because, I guess, of iconography. This is a very nice land, though. Foil Forest, one of my favorite kinds of lands, obviously. And the look of this one is really nice. I love, I don't know, like these kind of foresty groves where it kind of just goes off into the distance. That's a nice card. I really like that. And then we're on to, let's see here, we're on to our comments. So common. And this time we got 4 comments. So I guess it must alternate between 4 commons. No, now we got 5 commons. I guess the commons and uncommons are just sort of all over the board. Because this time we got five commons. We don't normally get that many commons. So something's going on here. And then we've got our uncommons. And in this case, we got 3 uncommons instead of the 4. Although I like the look of these. The research desk is nice. So is that. And then we've got our retro. Here we go. So this is our legendary artifact creature done in retro style. And I just love this retro style border. I really, really do. It's so iconic. It's so classic. And we got a nice rare. And we've got a foil common, our token common, and teased again with a double. These double cards they're not as bad as ads, but man, do they tease you. These tease you. All right. I mean, in general, things are going pretty well, I'd say. I feel like I might stop covering up the art cards, to be honest, unless they're signed, because I'm kind of running out of sleeves, and I want to make sure I have some for the good cards, you know, and I'd rather not be salvaging them. So I think until we get some signed art, I'll just keep it for now. I wonder if this is another double. I wonder if we're being teased. Because whenever I see that magic back, I do feel good. It is a good feeling when I see this. I just hope I'm not being teased. Okay, so where are we at here? So we've got our art series. Ooh. That is quite a nice piece of art, actually. You know, as I say it, you know, I'm not going to sleeve the art and then I get a nice piece of art. Doesn't it figure that way? And then we've got just a normal land. I might stop sleeving the normal lands as well for the time being, and then just do it at the end. Nice. I love when I get multiple forests. It's just something about the forest calls to me. It's just, that is the way. And another common. And then we've got our uncommons here. And this one, we got ourselves some sort of dragon engine. Phyrexian Horror. And here we go. A retro artifact. And these we are going to continue to sleeve as much as possible, because I do like these retro artifacts and I want them to generally stay sleeved, because why not, right? Okay, now onto our rare Hostile Negotiations. That's actually quite nice looking. Exile the top 3 cards of your library in a face-down pile, then exile the top 3 cards of your library in another face-down pile. Look at the cards in each pile, then turn a pile of your choice face up. Opponent chooses one of those piles. Put that pile into your hand, and the other into your graveyard. You lose 3 life. Interesting. So they can choose to give you the devil they know, and you've chosen to let them know about, or you can take the devil that they don't. Now this is nice. See, here we go. Here we go. A couple nice cards coming in at the end. I mean, we get our token foil, which is whatever. I mean, I'm still going to sleeve them just because they're foils. But that's not really the thing. But this guy here, another, whatever you call these, but these kind of old reprints, I'm not sure. That's another nice win. There we go. I like these. These are wins, and I'm very happy when I see those. I am always happy to get something like that at the back of a pack. Let's put it this way. So keep doing that. What I'm not happy with is those ads. It's just that simple. It's that simple, guys. No one wants to have ads. It's just it's cruel, unusual punishment to give people ads like that. All right, so we get our art card. Ooh, first duplicate art card. Although now that I think about it, wasn't the other one signed? It was. Okay, so that's not terrible. A duplicate art, but it's from the unsigned variant, so I don't mind that because I have now 2 variants, and then we get a nice foil land, and that is going to get sleeved because, as I said, I like to sleeve the foils as much as I can. And that's actually quite a nice looking island. Pretty freaky that they got these robots, but I like that they do update the land themes with each set, it seems. That's pretty nice. As far as a fan servicey kind of thing goes, I'm kind of happy they do that. So we get our commons, we get our uncommons. I like another forest. It's always good to see. Ooh, and it looks like with this pack we got a couple retros, and ooh, looks like we have something coming down the pipes, and we're running out of sleeves. So I feel like, didn't we already get a liquid metal casing? I guess there's multiple arts, alternative arts maybe, because I feel like we got this in a different color already. Maybe I'm wrong, but I could have sworn we got that one. I'll go back and take a look, but interesting. Just seems like an alternative. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, look. Alternative art. Interesting. So I guess there's a few variants. I like that. We get our rare, which is quite nice. Ooh, and we get another. Although I think I'm running out of sleeves. But we get one more to kind of, I guess, finish this off. Can I find a sleeve? Yeah. Another Transformer card. So I think, and it's a mythic foil. So that's very nice. Prowl, the Stoic Strategist. That's a very nice. Number 1, too. That's a nice mythic. So we got, so far we're doing very well, I think. Let's see how many packs. So we've hit 2 Transformers, and we're supposed to get 1 in every 10 packs. And so far we've hit 2 Transformers, and we've only done how many packs? 8? Yeah, I think we've done 8 packs, which isn't even, this is like a quarter of the box. Well, just over, but so we've done a quarter of the box, and we've hit 2 out of the 3 expected Transformers already. And we've got a nice set of retro artifacts. We got a couple mythics, and some nice lands coming through. So I think we're doing pretty well here, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I think we're doing pretty well. Pretty impressed so far with the pull. Now, again, I don't really know if any of these are actually valuable, and that's not really what I'm going for. I'm talking more about experiential value. I like the idea of them, I guess, so to speak. So let's continue this. It looks like we got 7 more packs for this video. So we're only halfway done, and we've got some nice stuff. And every time I see this Magic the Gathering in the back, I'm happy, because it means that I'm not pulling an ad. It's a nice bit of art, actually. I like the laser. It's very very well done. Good color. Ooh, that's a nice forest as well. See, I'm just such a sucker for the forest lands. And then we get our commons. In this case, we got 4 commons. It was weird that one time when we got 5. I wasn't really sure about that. We get our uncommons. Ooh. And we get our retros. Oh, we got 2 retro frames. Another rare. And then a rare land and a throwback. Oh, baby. That is what you call a nice hit. And we're running out of sleeves. So this is not good. I should have thought about this, but yeah. Ran out of sleeves, unfortunately. So, let's see here. I guess I can use the temporary sleeves for now. They're not great though, but they'll work until I can get some better sleeves. So, better than nothing, I guess. But put our retros in, and damn, like I'm telling you, we're getting some really nice hits in this box, and it's coming together really nicely. Like we got another nice rare card there, Blast Zone. We've got another hollow land and another throwback card. I mean, like, I don't know. We're doing really well, in my opinion. We're doing really well. We're getting kind of set up nicely here. Got the land, and then this throwback card's nice. We got this treasure hunter. I don't know what that X is, but I'm sure somebody does. But I like these throwback cards. They just make me feel like I'm opening up old chests and finding old trinkets and stuff and learning about the past. It's kind of fun. Including the retro cards is always an exciting thing. Now, I'm sure there's some group of people out there that don't like it, but I am not one of those people. So it looks like we got something new here. Some sort of counter card, which, again, this is acceptable. I'll take a counter card over an ad any day. Any day, guys. Counter card, acceptable. But not an ad. Just don't give me an ad, for God's sake. Nice. Another signed piece of art. So, yeah, I think we're doing well here. We're getting signed pieces of art. We're getting mostly unique art, minus the variants on the signs. We're getting lands that have a pretty good ratio of foil to non-foil. The commons don't even seem to have a lot of duplicates so far, which I'm happy to say. The uncommons, same thing. I'm not seeing a ton of duplicates or anything like that pour through, maybe 1 or 2. And I'm really liking these retro artifact creatures and retro artifacts because I just love this border. This old school border is just awesome. And then, let's see. I love getting rares and forest as well. So we got a nice forest. Look at those bears. Chilling. And then we got our token foil. And our token foil this time Survivor of Corliss. So put that over there. But yeah, no, I think these are great. Like, this is a great set, guys. It's not the cheapest set on the market at the moment, that's for sure. But it's certainly not the most expensive set. And I think for experience, you're probably getting a lot of fun per dollar, especially when you factor in the actual price of some of these cards. If you are going to, say, recoup some of your cost or trade it in for other cards or whatever, I feel like this has got to be a pretty good deal. As far as a set goes, like, it's just got to be, can't be that bad of a deal. So that's nice. That's nice. Look at that. Look at that. I love that kind of sketch art. Which, again, as I say that, I'm well aware that they can easily just start releasing sketch versions and manipulating the price that way. But if the art's good, if the cards are good, then they're still providing some value with that. It's not just pure manipulation, although it does start to show up when you start getting only manipulated kind of marketing stuff like ads. I love getting all these kind of forest cards though. I'm such a sucker for forests. Ooh, here we go. We're getting into the nice cards again. This time we've got our Phyrexian Revoker. Nice retro artifact creature. And I just want a slightly nicer. Let's go with this guy. Sleeve. And that's quite nice. And then what do we have here? We've got for our rare Simian Simulacrum. And that's nice. We'll put that over there. And then we get our token common foil and Mishra's Juggernaut, which I think we've seen in non-foil, but it's nice to have. And then we get another throwback. In this case, we're getting a throwback on March of the Machines, which I guess was an old card, which is maybe where the name of the set came from. Because this seems like an old card, 2003 of some kind. But I'm very happy to see that come through. I love getting these throwback cards. They're so fun to get. And like compared to it's the thrill of the unknown, which is there's always unknown in booster sets, but you don't even know where the card may come from. That's kind of the fun. It'd be even more fun if you knew that you were going to get one, but you didn't know where it was going to come from, as opposed to an ad. Just saying, just don't put in the ads, guys. Holy hell. Marketing morons involved in that decision. But let's see what we got for art. So, not bad. I'm not a big fan of weird 3D. Like, this looks like it was rendered in 3D, but if it wasn't, then kudos to the artist, because they certainly are seeing in 3D. But yeah, not really my style of design. I definitely prefer the sketch style. I feel like, yeah, we just got this mountain, so obviously this mountain is not very rare. For the land, it's just all over the place. We got our 5 commons. We get our uncommons. A couple duplicates that I've seen now. So this pack's not amazing, but at least it looks like we got a new artifact here, one of these retro artifacts, and Springleaf Drum. That actually seems really useful. So that's nice. And ooh, it's been a while. I forgot that you could get them. Mythics. Oh, 2 mythics. Oh, this is a good pack. Okay. Urza's Silex. Legendary artifact. Mythic. Ooh, baby. Yes, that's how I like it. I like it that way. Give me the mythic, baby. Give me the mythic. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And then we've got Root Path Purifier. Mythic Foil. That's nice. Forest, Mythic, Foil, Elf Druid. Lands you control and land cards in your library are basic. Basic. So essentially this girl walks in and all the bitches are basic. That's pretty much what happens. And yeah, no, that's nice. We got a nice mythic there. Put that over here, mythic foil, and we get a callback in the same pack. This was a nice pack. This is a good pack, guys. I'm liking this pack. keep the pack up. Because now we got this Opal Lake Gatekeepers. A little bit, so let's see, 2013, so not super old throwback on this one, but again, I like getting these throwback cards. They're fun. You kind of get to see in time. And I don't even know what pack we're on now. I think we're on 11 or 12, so I'll have to do some counting here, but it's definitely interesting. Now, one of the things I have to admit as well is that I noticed with these packs, specifically in this box, compared to, say, March of the Machine, is that they're all over the board in thickness. Some are thick, some are not. They don't line up evenly across the box itself, so as you're kind of pulling them, they're not kind of all over the place. Now, I don't know if that's a good sign or bad sign, but it's just something I noticed about this that I thought I'd mention. So it looks like we're back to getting ads. Yeah. So token ads, no one gives a fuck about them, but I guess they're there. Ooh, so that's nice. Again, I like the sketch art. I think it looks really good, and I think it fits the theme really well as well. So good on you for keeping that going. This is a nice basic land. Our commons. These are pretty cool looking commons. Again, I feel like the commons don't have that many duplicates, you know? They're not that common. I've seen some uncommon duplicates, but it's interesting. Then we got 4 uncommons here. So no rare or anything, no mythics on this one. But then we are going to get the Sigil of Valor, old retro. And let's see. So we got that. And let's see if I can get them better. What else do we got? We got a rare here, which is the Might Stone and Weak Stone, legendary artifact. That's a nice looking card. And then we get our token foil. It looks like just common Aeronaut Cavalry, but still quite a nice looking card nonetheless. So add that over there. So yeah, let's see. How many packs have we done? We have done 11 packs. Nope. Sorry, 12 packs. 12 packs. So that means that we've got 4 packs left. Is that right? That doesn't seem right. Did I miss a pack? Hold on. I think I might have miscounted. Because this, again, this just doesn't feel right. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so these are the last 3 packs that we're doing. My bad. I did miscount. So in here, we have 15 packs left. We're going to save that for part 2 of this set unboxing. Because we take our time on this channel. We don't just shoot through the cards. We kind of look at each one, and you tend to get a little bit of an extra discussion from me and my thoughts before we even get to the cards. And luckily, it's before we get to the cards. You know, and then you can skip over it if you don't like it. But these 3 packs are going to be the final packs that we're going to do in this video. So let's get cracking, eh, boys and girls? So we'll just put that off to the side for now. Let's crack away. So I'm already happy to say that even if it is a token, it's a foresty looking token. And I always just, like I said, I have a thing for the forest looking tokens. I just hope it's not an ad. Of course it's an ad. It's one of the worst ads as well. I hate that ad. Terrible. Okay, Platinum Angel. That is also a very nice looking piece of art. So the art cards in this set are really nice. The lands are actually quite nice. I prefer the standard border lands to the full frame lands, though. I'm going to say that. The commons in this set are all pretty nice. The uncommons, again, I'm not talking about, I guess, utility. I have to read them and actually figure that part out. But these retro artifacts are really nice to look at. The retro framing is just beautiful. And there's a lot of them because you get one in each pack. So it's kind of nice because you can easily build at least somewhat of a set going. This is a great looking rare. You know what this reminds me of, actually? And I shit you not, I swear to God, this person, Jesper Ising, I think they were inspired by The Land Before Time. I don't know why. Like, I'm just looking at this and it just reminds me of, I think, the 4th movie in the Land Before Time series when I was a kid. There was like a crocodile and a bird. Now, these, like a little, like obviously they're different, but I'm telling you, it's like, it resonates with that movie. For those of you who haven't seen the movie, go check it out. I mean, it's a kid's movie, but it was actually, they made kids' movies different back then. They were better. That's a nice token foil. We finally got an uncommon token foil, which is nice. I mean, obviously a rare token foil is always nicer. A mythic token foil. I don't even know if they include mythic token foils, but if they do, that's very nice. So we would really be happy. But unfortunately, we just got an uncommon there, which is better than a common. Let's see. And another one of these stupid add tokens. Add token from hell. Let me guess, it's the... Yep. Add token from hell, guys. Just stop putting those in the packs. I'd rather not get them, but I get it. Just give me 2-sided tokens. Come on. Don't put ads on them. No one wants that shit. That's a cool looking piece of art, though. That really reminds me of the metalheads. Actually, you know, I'm looking at this, and you know what I'm seeing? I'm seeing the metalheads from Jack and Daxter mixed with Dr. Nefarious from Ratchet and Clank. All slammed together with the bugs from Daxter on the PSP. That's what I'm seeing here. Interesting. Ooh, we got another hollow land here. And again, I prefer the traditional border lands. I don't know why. I mean, these full border lands are kind of cool, but at the same time, I prefer the traditional, just personally myself. And it looks like a little teaser there on the bottom, but let's go through the commons first. So we got 5 commons in this pack, but I'm not too worried because I saw a nice card at the bottom. So I think we're going to be treated to something special. So we got a couple uncommons. Then we've got our token retro. And this one we haven't seen before, so it's kind of nice. I mean, most of them we haven't seen. I don't think we maybe had 1 or 2 duplicates, but they were in different alternative arts. Then we get our rare, which is pretty nice looking. Another forest rare. So there's lots of forest in this pack, which is good because I wanted forest, and it looks like I'm getting forest. Then we get our second of the day foil retro artifact. Now this, again, beautiful. I'll put this in here, but that is beautiful. And again, it's got the star, it's got the nice texture. That is a gorgeous card. So that's 2 now of those foil retro framed artifacts, and I am very happy. I mean, this is 1/2 of this set, guys. We are getting some nice hits here. And then let's go through and see what else we got. All right. So I gotta admit, that's a pretty cool looking token. It's just gonna be destroyed by the stupid ad on the back. Yeah. Like, that is a cool looking token. Why would you put an ad on this? Fuck. You guys are assholes. Okay. Oh. Apparently I don't know how to flip. Oh, that's a pretty nice piece of art, actually. I quite like that. Again, I have this thing for forests, so anything kind of set in a forest is just a little bonus for me. Followed up by a forest land. We've seen this one before, but I love that framing, and I love forest land, so I don't mind a duplicate. That is also, oh look, we only got 3 commons this time, so we got something funky happening in this pack. We got a couple forest uncommons, which are sweet, especially that dude. Actually, they're both cool. Oh, we got 5 uncommons in this pack. Okay, so they're changing it up a little bit. And then we've got some funkiness happening here. So we got the Chromatic Star, which is, it's actually got a signature on the actual art. So that's got to be a real retro piece. So you don't see that very often on the actual art itself. So Chromatic Star, retro. Ooh, we hit a mythic, ladies and gentlemen. A nice mythic. What do we got here? Skitterbeam Battalion. It's got trample. A lot of trample, I've noticed. I feel like this is a trample deck builder. Like, there's got to be something in here for trample. But that's nice. Another mythic. Artifact creature. Neutral. Colorless. Ooh. Ooh. We're getting some good hits. And to finish it up, our token foil is not bad looking, actually. I haven't seen him before. Thraxodemon. Just a common, but it's a nice looking card. So that's the first half of the box, ladies and gentlemen. And we'll do the second half of the box on its own. I'm always amazed when I'm doing these videos how long it takes me to get through them, and how quickly it seems that other people are able to do, like, not just one box, not just 2 boxes or 3 boxes, but sometimes 4 boxes. And here's me just like doing a half a box, and it's taken me like 5 times as long. I don't get it. I mean, obviously they're not reading the cards, they're not really paying attention to the cards. They've got a system a lot of the time, and the only cards that they're looking for are mythics, usually. Maybe some rares, or the odd card that gets their attention. But me, I don't even know what I'm looking for at this point. Everything's interesting to me. They're all equally valuable or not valuable, funny enough. I mean, obviously some are more, like the stamp cards, and certain cards I can just tell are hard to come by. Yeah, no, it's been a fun experience so far. I mean, it should be noted that so far we did get 2 mythic Transformers. I actually don't know how many there are. I guess, it probably says here 15. Yeah, so there's 15 Transformers cards that you can get, and we've got 2 of them so far. We got 1 in 7 out of 15. And for the mythics themselves, I guess they might say how many there are as well. No, I guess they're all just part of the base set with the mythics. Oh no, that's the commander deck. So we got some commander deck mythics as well as regular set mythics, and then we've got a couple throwback mythics. So it's hard to say how many of those there actually are. I don't know then how many of these are mythics versus the commons and the uncommons and the rares, but we're getting a nice set here. I feel that, like, when you get one of these booster sets, to be honest, if you're looking for the mythics and the rares, I think the way to go about it, in my opinion, like if you're doing set building, is you maybe buy 1 or 2 boxes of the set boosters, max. And then you go and you buy the singles of a few other cards, unless you're really into the cracking of the packs. Like, because then there is something to be said about the actual experience of cracking packs and going through them. But what I'm seeing is it looks like you fill up the actual sets themselves pretty quickly. Probably after 2 boxes, to be honest. You probably have got almost all the commons and uncommons, and you might even get them all in just 1 box, to be honest. So if you're doing deck building or whatever, you might want to get a couple of them. But if you're doing Commander, you probably just want 1 box, maybe 2, again, if you're looking for some of the other cards. But I feel like a set box is going to get you almost the full set, which is, I'm assuming, the point of the set box is to kind of get you most of the set. And I kind of like that because, again, that's kind of what I'm seeing here as I'm cracking these packs, is it does seem to be mostly covering the set. And that's, in my opinion, very good. So I think whatever they're doing in that regard is nice, because it gives me a sense that if I go out and I buy a set box like this, I'm not going to get burned. I'm not going to get like 1 booster pack 20 times, the same variations. It's funny, though, because when I'm watching some of the videos, again, I don't control the background in those videos. I don't know anything that's actually happening behind the scenes. But some videos, it seems like there's some really high repeat counts. And it looks like the repeats start to happen when you start cracking open, not multiple packs, but multiple boxes. That's when you start to really see these repeats start to happen. And so I think part of the reason that it appears there are so many repeats in some of these sets is just the format of the videos themselves. I think it's these guys that are cracking packs so fast that they're popping all the commons down over here. They're popping all the uncommons. And because they're doing so many boxes, like I've seen a couple where they're doing like, say, 2 or 3 of these boxes in one go, then you're bound to see some duplicates for sure in the commons and the uncommons. And you're probably even going to start to see some duplicates in the rares by just the natural happenstance of having that many cards. I mean, if the set itself is about 300 cards and you get 360 cards in a set booster, then you expect there to be 300 or at least 60 duplicates, right? Now, they contrast that because they add in these retros, which is an extra 63. They add in the basic lands, which the lands do comprise the base set, so that's not really it. But then they add in the throwbacks, and the throwbacks boost in the numbers. You don't really know where the throwbacks are coming from. Maybe they do, but generally speaking, I don't think so. And then, of course, the signed variations. And in the collector's box, that seems to be the cases. I haven't actually opened one, and the sample packs were so atrocious that I have no interest in it at the moment. Maybe if I can get my hands on a good price before the market affects them. But from what I've seen there, because the packs are so much smaller, the boxes, are so much smaller, I've been surprised by how much how much duplication there is amongst those boxes, despite being smaller. And that makes it seem like almost like the collector's boxes, funny enough, are the thing that are trying to be sold a lot of, but because they're being maybe sold a lot of, they're not actually as rare. So I don't know. I feel like maybe the set boosters are actually the way to go, but I could be wrong there again. I don't know. I have any of the numbers. It's just something I noticed that I didn't see a ton of duplicates as I've gone through. Again, I've only done half this box, but I didn't see a lot in the last box either. And so, yeah, in general, I think the set booster boxes so far, they've been a great deal, and I'd highly recommend people pick them up if they see them. Anyways, thanks again for this video. We'll continue, and we'll finish the rest of the pack in another video another time. Appreciate it, and thank you. Have a great day.